I find myself going backwards and forwards and checking and rechecking, because when I hear the submissions as made, I think, am I missing something? Because as I read the text, the text, as per the amendment at the committee stage by the government, clearly states, shall consult with members of the public. So the element of consulting with the members of the public is absolutely preserved in this piece of legislation. There's no question of it not being, of the public not being consulted. What we're talking about is how they're consulted. So it's either in person or it's online, but it's still a public meeting. It's still a public meeting. And so there is a theme going through the contributions as though the public are being cut out. They're not. They're not. The word shall is very instructive. It cannot be, it is mandatory to consult the public at this stage. But this isn't the last point or the only point of consultation in a development plan. There are subsequent sections in the Act that oblige various levels of consultation and contribution. So it isn't that the executives sit in their lofty offices and put together a plan and now they're excluding the public and then it's going to be a done deal. In fact, there's quite elaborate measures to ensure that there is consultation thereafter. And at this point, there is consultation. And in my contributions on the last day of this, my concern was in relation to how is that discretion exercised. And I asked the Minister here on the day to say, you know, can you put together guidelines on the, you know, what's the best practice in the expression of that? And to be fair, you know, my intentions were good, but actually that's already done. So I presumed something when actually it was already there. There I was thinking I was novel. But it's already within a requirement on public authorities. The best practice is already set out, and in fact it was in our library and research document that on this point, and I have referenced this before asking it to be the guideline, but actually this is the guideline. These are the manner in which public consultation is to occur, and it says online consultations can complement face-to-face public meetings, but shouldn't replace them, shouldn't fully replace them. So there's no question but that there is going to be an exercise of discretion, and there is lists of 8F there on how that discretion is to be exercised. And if there is a situation down the road where it is onerously exercised in favour of not having in-person public meetings, or there is one rogue local authority that excludes the public consistently, then there's recourse to this. It can be raised as a motion, it can be raised in the chamber. There are lots of means of addressing this and ensuring that that discretion isn't exercised against in-person meetings. I was elected to South Dublin County Council, and one of the things that struck me in the first meeting, in-camera meeting that we had, was the level of metrics that were put before the members, and that they prided themselves on public consultation and on counting how many times. How effective some of those were is another thing, but that's the ongoing robust exchange between the public and the members of the council. But certainly the idea of ensuring and priding themselves on that they do go out to the public. In my own area, there are bus shelter ads on various aspects and various things. So we're not dealing with a malevolent group who are opposed to the public, although some may be, but we're not in general dealing with that. We're in general dealing with, with a local authority and executive who are quite committed to their service of the public. So I think that we're creating a a narrative here that is untrue and is disingenuous, and it's disingenuous to the power of members, of councillors, elected members throughout the country to keep this in check, to have something to say. We're by presupposing this, we're somehow denuding them of their ability to stand up for themselves and stand up for the public that they represent. But they also have lots of opportunities to contribute and to check and recheck and build into a development plan. So I think that we're at a pre-stage of the publication. There is another stage. There are several other stages to the development plan, all of which invite consultation. We're talking about whether it happens in public, whether it happens in person or online. We're not talking about eliminating public consultation. So I think that we need to bring it down a level, you know, and dial down the drama of it, because it is not excluding the public. It is merely opening up the vista and the possibility of maybe including far more people. One thing, while I have reservations and have had criticisms of Bus Connects, they didn't stop. There were huge volumes of submissions, and most of those were submitted online. So while I agree that there is a portion of our population that are not good on digital literacy, I'm also heartened that my party colleague, Minister Harris, has a programme to make sure that we have digital literacy. So we are moving to ensuring people have access to online, people are literate online, and so why not open it out? And where you have remote areas, where you have big counties, where it's a long way to travel, where that people can access it from their home. So I do get the spirit of what the Minister was trying to convey to us on the last day at committee stage, that this was actually about including. There is no, malevolent intent here. This is about actually opening up the process, not closing it down. Thank you.